Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another worldwide transmission. It is Wednesday, the 12th day of June, 2013, and I really want to give the listeners and viewers of this broadcast a chance to sound off on all the things that have been unfolding from our coverage of the globalist and the different activities that they've been involved in at Bilderberg, to the demonization by the Republican and Democratic parties of Snowden leaking the fact that the NSA is spying on every man, woman, and child. We already knew that. They're already using them to spy and harass on the press, talking to whistleblowers that are exposing government criminal activity. They went after ATF people that blew the whistle on them shipping guns into Mexico so they could blame the Second Amendment. And now they're trying to say this guy's a Chinese spy or something. What about people being globalist spies, globalist corporate operatives in our government robbing the Treasury and robbing us of our Bill of Rights and Constitution? And then you've got the illegal immigration reform bill, which is written like Obamacare, where it has some nice sounding words in it, but then is just a blank check for government to do whatever it wants. And the globalists want a North American Union to drive down wages, not to raise Mexican wages, but to drive down wages. And Mexico doesn't have to open its borders to Guatemala. You get 6 months hard labor if you're an illegal, they catch you there. And Schumer is quoted as saying illegal immigration will be a thing of the past. You go up to drudgereport.com. It's got a powerful image of a Los Zetas with Obama tattooed on his stomach. This is the type of amazing stuff that's going on. And folks, I've been to Mexico probably, let's not exaggerate, 30, 40 times. And there's a lot of neat stuff about Mexico, but there's also a lot of horrible things about it. It's one of the most dangerous countries in the world. And the Southwest is just collapsing into third worldom, and that's exactly what the system wants. Meanwhile, Rand Paul says to illegals, we will find you a place. We will try to get a good bill to legalize legal, lawful people that have been here. And because if you're legal, it takes you 10, 15, 20 years, 10 years to get here, and then 10 years to become a citizen. It's too hard for people who law-abidingly become a citizen, because the system doesn't want you to go that route. They want you to go the illegal route so you can have multiple identities and further bankrupt the country. It's all been actuaried out. Your taxpayer money goes to fund the illegals with all the welfare and stuff as a corporate incentive, as a corporate welfare to bring in a group that will work for less than you can live on. Meanwhile, Senator Tim Kaine speaks in Spanish on the Senate floor, pushes immigration bill. I wonder what happened in Mexico if somebody went down there and spoke in their Congress in English and said, let's legalize any Americans that want to come here. Let's give them free health care. Let them have their babies here and pay for it. And I mean, they would laugh you out of the place. And if you said, be loving, don't be mean to the Americano, you'd probably get shot. Because Mexico, for all its failures, is at least nationalistic. America has had its immune system politically completely dropped, where we will put up with anything. ProPure is introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. This is the Pro One by ProPure. You wanted it, you got it. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It cuts out the acid derivative of fluoride. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gates, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid. the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. This is a revolution against the tyrants. They love putting the toxic acid base of fluoride into your water. They love the fact that it's an adjuvant supercharging the trace Prozac in the water and the hormones and the other chemicals. By cutting out fluoride, you cut out the turbocharger in all the poison being artificially introduced into your body. This is what I use. It's a win-win. You get a high-quality product at the lowest price. You support the InfoWar. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. I do have a big whistleblower coming on the broadcast tonight to talk about a host of issues on the nightly news. I'll just leave it at that. And we have another whistleblower from inside Big Telecom who put in the snooping systems coming back. We actually have two whistleblowers from industry and the Pentagon coming on the transmission tonight. InfoWars Nightly News, 7 o'clock Central. I'm going to tape the interviews before. Sometimes the show's live tonight. It'll be taped. And then tomorrow we should have excerpts on the radio show for you. Before I get into the latest on the NSA scandal, the IRS scandal, Benghazi Gate, before I get into all of it, I had a realization this morning when I woke up at about 4 a.m., because I'm still kind of on London time, hours ahead of us, just getting back from London Monday, covering Bilderberg. I had the realization that they now have Media Matters, who doesn't matter to the public, but it does matter because it's White House funded, White House run, White House transition chief, George Soros funded. They spend more time attacking Infowars.com and this radio show and yours truly, Alex Jones, than they do on anybody else now. Matt Drudge, Rush Limbaugh, Glenn Beck. No, it's Alex Jones and also Rand Paul and Ted Cruz, because, you know, that shows you who they're really scared of. So, some weeks they attack Drudge as much as they attack us, in fact, more. But lately it's been yours truly. And that is directly run by the White House. And they're attacking us because they know we know what we're talking about. And then when they had Bloomberg, because I reread that article this morning, when they had Bloomberg come out and in a big feature story and call it an investigative report and say Alex Jones basically caused the Boston bombing, and they had the quote by the Southern Poverty Slime Center, who actually has been caught in court with one of their guys shooting up the Family Research Council and saying he did it because of them. So they've actually been caught in all that. They are then quoted as experts in there saying Alex Jones doesn't build bombs, he builds bombers. And I was on Eric Mancow Muller's show. By the way, he's got a new big history show coming out, so congratulations to him. That's actually a big show with his brother. The point is I was on there and he said, why are they saying this about you? Everybody knows that you're against offensive violence and that you expose bombings as many times being government funded to take our liberties. And then he went on to apologize basically on air and say, I thought you were a kook 10 years ago when I first started interviewing you. It's all come true. I apologize. And you better watch your back when they're doing stuff like this. And it was funny. He brought that up and said it because I was already thinking that this morning. And then I'm on his show. And he was talking about it. He was saying the same thing I was already thinking. He's a really smart guy. I mean, they would not be coming out. I really thought about it this morning. I woke up and I thought about it for a couple of hours. There in the dark of the house before the kids and my wife woke up, sitting there reading that article and thinking about it, and then looking at all the other demonization pieces and everything. And what popped out of my little computer, what popped out of my brain, like the old data cards, was Danger Will Robinson. They would not come out and say that I'm connected to bombers and that I make bombers. Which, even though I'm a public figure, I could probably, if I really wanted to fight the case and do it right and file in the right district and everything, I could get a judgment against Bloomberg. We got a judgment against Pittsburgh, one of my reporters, or they settled. I mean, I know the law pretty darn well. I made a study of it. It's very interesting. And they would not be risking things like that. There it is, human bombs. He does not build bombs. He builds bombers. They set it up on screen. And it's not just some of them quoting him. They say that over and over again in the article. And basically say the bombers did it because they were my listeners, when they've killed 2 FBI agents that were on the scene. There was a drill. They've now killed one of the witnesses that was talking to his friends. I mean, I've been contacted by lawyers and family members and everything else off record. And I've told them, okay, if you want to go public here, that's fine. And they're all being surveilled. The system is really afraid of the fact that we really caught them staging the London bombing. Those 2 brothers were total patsies. They were both on CIA payroll. That's come out in the foreign press. It's been confirmed. Boston bombing. Boston bombing. What bombing did I say? London bombing. Well, that too was carried out by MI6, and they had drills of targeting the same buses and the same trains at the very exact same time. And then I was approached by police, MI5, security people all over London saying, oh, we all know the truth. We all know that was staged. It just makes the head spin that they're coming after us because we freaked them out by catching them with their pants down in a drill with patsies who were on CIA payroll on record, being sent to the Caucasus to go around and basically radicalize and create al-Qaeda cells to attack Russian-held areas, as is an admitted, publicly funded program. And they do not like the fact that I'm sitting here covering the things they're doing, because they want to pull off more bombings to basically phase in martial law. They want to stage bombings to blame the Tea Party. They want this. I know their mind. I eat, drink, and sleep this. I know the history. I know how Operation Gladio worked. Listen, in India, in Italy, in Germany, in England, in all these places, they can't even stage bombings anymore, because it's come out that almost every IRA bombing for 40 years was MI6, MI5, SAS commandos. That's London Guardian, Times of London. I mean, that's admitted. You tell Brits that there, they don't laugh at you. They go, oh, I know. Operation, Operative Steak Knife and all the rest of it. By the way, I interviewed Steak Knife, and then he was dead a month later. You know how many people I've interviewed, like the Boston Madam and Steak Knife, who they kill? I mean, I can't believe I'm still alive. It just hit me that, I am fearless. But it hit me, the reason I'm so angry is my flesh, my worldly side, is extremely angry at me. I was psychoanalyzing this morning why I don't like myself, why I'm so angry, why I'm so focused, why I'm so serious now, when I used to be a really funny, happy person. And it just comes down to the realization that it's all real, it's worse than I even thought, and I'm right in the middle of it. And the people that want to do this type of stuff, to be technical, Steak Knife was kind of a name for several people in an operation. But I had an Army commando on who blew the whistle and admitted it all, admitted to bombings and things. He'd been in one newspaper. It turned out he was a listener. He contacted us. I got him on. He was dead a month later. I interviewed another whistleblower over in England, and he got machine gunned off his motorcycle. That's why when I got approached by police and then by MI5, these guys were sitting there going, look, we all know it's true. We know you're right. And you better be safe. And And you know, we wish we could change things. It's because they all know, folks. And that's why I could go to England and I could have police, MI5, and others come to me and say, members of Bilderberg are going to go public. They're completely freaked out. You guys are doing a great job. And basically, you know, we support what you're doing. Because you see, MI5, they know how many of those guys in there are child molesters. You know, the average person in the government is not a criminal. And now they're all having a crisis of conscience. That's why you're going to see more and more whistleblowers coming out. I mean, who do you think wants total power and to do evil things? Really bad people. That's history. And it's a collection of different types of criminals, but I just had the realization that we really are having a huge effect and that I am, in danger. Because my gut is always right, and my gut has never told me that I am on the edge of the precipice, like my gut has told me. And my gut's never told me that I'm doing a good job like it's telling me. So, you know, I've got one side of me, the side that leans towards God and creation and everything that's good, is saying, well done. You're going to get a good report. But my flesh is like, why don't you enjoy yourself? Why don't you slow down? Why don't you go along with the system a little? You don't need to destroy yourself. Do you know what my soul says? Full speed ahead. Intensify. Accelerate to ramming speed. And that's the decision I'm making. Just like I told you a year ago. We're taking the info war to the next level. Now, I'm taking it to the next level. I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com. You've been noticing that Al Franken, the scumbag authoritarian filth, the degenerate lover of death, Bill Maher, who says more abortion, more car wrecks, more death, because humans are scum, get rid of us, less people, but ban the guns for the children because he cares if people die, but kill Granny so he can get more money. Blood, he loves you. Bill Maher, all of them have come out in defense of Obama and warrantless across the board, spying against the Associated Press, the media, Fast and Furious, government whistleblowers. How many times have I had NSA insiders like Shebel Edmonds on to tell you the NSA is really aimed at whistleblowers? In fact, let's get Wayne Madsen back on. Wayne Madsen, NSA whistleblower when he left decades ago. Journalist, syndicated columnist. He said that Obama shifted even more than Bush to taking like a third of the NSA, to paraphrase him. He said a large portion of it, to just focus on the press and just focus on their opposition for dirty tricks. And he said that like 3 years ago. I was just thinking about, you know, I said, our sources said this. And I'm thinking, why did I know that? Well, because it's come out, but also I know the details from people that said it beforehand. And then I start thinking, who told me that? Colonel Schaefer, who's coming on tomorrow. Big whistleblower. Shebel Edmonds, NSA, FBI translator. NSA high-level, I mean, really a commander. I mean, a division chief of a whole sector, Wayne Madsen. I mean, we know all this, but I don't just believe my sources. I separately have studied the funding and the infrastructure. And the globalists love to brag, so much of it is public, so we know how big it is. And now you see Boner, a.k.a. Boehner, you see Chucky Schumer, you see them all coming out bipartisan treason and saying, this man Snowden, he's a traitor. And the only way Snowden is a traitor, Edward Snowden, is if it's an elaborate hoax with all the NSA stuff already out to make it come out that he is a Chinese or Russian spy, to make it look traitorous to expose this. And watching, you know, what he said and looking at him in his history, he doesn't fit the MO of that. Because the revelations would have been smaller if my gut tells me Snowden is for real. Let me tell you who a traitor is Boehner. It turns out Congress and Ron Paul and Rand Paul, they've talked about this now, has been briefed. They were given national security gag orders that I don't believe are constitutional. I mean, the Congress and the Intelligence Committee, they're in charge of all this. And you know, to allow the NSA and the Pentagon to dictate to them is the cart before the horse. And really, it's an excuse to go along with all this. I mean, it's come out that the cloakroom was being tapped. And I even predicted, oh, they'll claim it's Democratic operatives or private corporations doing it, because 99% of the spying now, literally, is done by 800,000 private contractors. Look at Snowden. He was working for a big private group. What, Booz Allen? So that's the issue here, is they're spying on each other. I mean, it came out a few years ago that MI6 and MI5 were spying on the parliament, on the elected government, to be able to have the bureaucracy head them off at the pass. What's happening is the bureaucracy is completely taking over, and the bureaucracy isn't even a government bureaucracy. It's a private corporate bureaucracy. I was reading where one spy firm just in cybersecurity last month got a $10 billion contract for 2014. One company, just on spying on us, $10 billion. I mean, you go to these NSA bases, and entire wings are run by different defense contractors. A lot of them are foreign companies. But, oh, they're always, do what we say, let us spy on you. We're fighting against the Russians and the Chinese. If we weren't here, they would get you. They would get me? The globalists have already moved all our jobs to China. The globalists are in bed with the communist Chinese because they're authoritarians, like them. So when we come back, I'm going to get to some of these clips with Ron Paul, Rand Paul, and others, but we're going to get Wayne Madsen on today, if not tomorrow. He is on today. We were working on it earlier. He is on today, 1 o'clock. So in an hour and 30 minutes, T-minus. I'm going to have him really get into NSA. I mean, he is the expert on this. Our viewers have demanded it, so now you're going to get it. More pro-Second Amendment gun shows in the month of June.
What we've learned is you cannot hide behind an I-beam when there's a 50 cal present.
Brothers in Arms, 50 cal ammo review, and more. Coming in the month of June to the InfoWar. Got to get into all this news. I mean, Obama outside of Congress is putting, with an executive order, it's not even an executive order, it's just an executive directive added on to microwave oven regulations, boosting the price of carbon in the United States, that's paid into carbon trading funds that he and the pig piece of garbage death camp owning in China slave camp owning in China, Al Gore, you will have to pay money into them. I mean, it's a totally criminal conflict of interest waddling around in front of us with the general public in a coma. That's why I get so angry at these people. They are just the most disgusting authoritarian scumbag criminals. And you've got all these camp followers, so-called liberals that are really authoritarians who feel like they're part of a gang who will salute and support drone killing, torture, funding al-Qaeda, spying on us, warrantless checkpoints, government arming to the teeth against the people. And as long as they feel like they're winners and are part of the establishment, they're for it. So we're going to get into all of that. I'm going to get into the whistleblowing on the NSA in detail. We're going to open the phones up and take your calls. Wayne Madsen's going to join us. Just briefly, we sold out of the last edition of InfoWars magazine. Most editions sell out. This one will probably sell out. It's the Elite Plan Global Takeover. Welcome to Bilderberg. Big, glossy color magazine. Great way to wake up friends and family. You can sign up for a 12-month subscription and give it as a gift. Shipping is included in the subscription price. 12 big, thick color magazines to wake people up, full of graphics and factoids and graphs. Great way to wake people up with a gift subscription to your library, your police department, your congressman or woman, your state rep. Great thing to give to your church as a gift subscription. Great thing to leave at the dentist office or the barber shop. You can also buy each particular issue in groups of 10 up to 100 at cost. People really pay attention nowadays to print because there's so little of it and the quality of it's so bad. This is so high. Got a big graphic with a map of the Bilderberg Group with a skull in the middle. Very, very powerful. So InfoWars June issue available at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. 888-253-3139. Get a PrisonPlanet.tv membership, and you see the nightly news, the higher quality archives of the daytime show, the commercial-free podcast, all my films, my book, Paul Watson's book, dozens and dozens of other films, 18 years of material, up and running, 11 years, PrisonPlanet.tv. One membership is $5.95 a month, and it's really 11 memberships, so less than 55 cents per person per month. Great way to wake people up. If you have a membership and you're not sharing it, be sure and share your username and passcode with friends and family today and encourage them to watch the nightly news, especially tonight with these whistleblowers, PrisonPlanet.tv. And please, in closing, also support all of our AM and FM affiliates by being a local sponsor or supporting the local sponsors and letting them know that you are supporting the broadcast. And as always, spread the word about the broadcast. That is most important, and pray for us. Okay, that's a mid-air refueling, as I call it, to fund our media operation. We're not funded by George Soros or the White House like MSNBC or Media Matters or Bloomberg, funded by all their insider knowledge and all of his activities with his 15 bodyguards, but doesn't want you to be able to own a gun. He writes yellow journalism pieces about how, quote, I don't build bombs, I build bombers. I guess if somebody comes up and punches you in the nose and then you decide to defend yourself, you're a bad guy. Or if somebody says, hey, it's not right to bully someone, you're inciting them to bomb. No, I'm not. I'm inciting people to wake up and take our country back, and that's why you're scared of me. That's why you're scared. And you know what? New World Order, I studied history, so have you. You should be scared. You should be scared of all the crimes you've committed and the insanity of thinking that you could ever in a million years get away with what you've done.